Got it.
Oh. All right, let me get
I
you
see
guys back
people
up
get
here.
those kind of TVs at like thrift stores and then they make them into cat beds.
Cat beds, really? These?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
they
that.
take out the tube and then they make it like into like a little cat bed.
Now you're onto something, Crunchy Mom. Reuse. Reuse.
Oh yeah.
Recycle.
I am like a thrifter.
Close the loop.
I'm all about the secondhand
I like
stuff.
that. Yeah, I've been building a workshop, but I don't like to I don't want to go to Lowe's and buy like, $200 worth of lumber
Yeah.
to build something that I could buy for $200.
Right.
Like I want to kind of be resourceful about it. I don't know.
I know you're the thrifter of the week.
Depends.
That's a crafter's. That's
if I get a big
crafter's
bonus
nightmare.
or something, or
Crafting is like expensive. It's more expensive than buying the stuff. That's
yeah.
So
There was this thing I wanted to talk about it, but I know it's not relevant at all. But like I'm in this woodworking group on Facebook, and like in that group, the controversy, there's been this thing called planer gate. So a planer, he's an Oompa Loompa now. A planer is is a tool that you take like a raw piece of lumber, you put it through it, and it makes it.
Right.
Yeah, but it's like electric. It has like teeth. It'll like grind the top of the wood so that your board is the exact thickness from 8 feet long. So it's normally like $500, but what happened was someone at the manufacturer that supplies all the price list to the vendors or to the stores like Lowe's, Amazon, Home Depot, everywhere, they screwed up the spreadsheet that loads all the prices. So they had this $500 tool listed at like $90, like $89.99.
nice.
So there was like a 24-hour period where they didn't figure it out. And it was like all a scandal. Like the whole woodworking Facebook was all about this deal. People were like posting their receipts online because they got their order in.
Did you go?
No. Because but by the time I realized it was real, like people were posting their like order canceled. Because when Lowe's figured it out, like that they had just sold, 1,000 of these tools.
Can't they just take the loss and be like, look, we fucked up, whatever?
Well, that's the thing, because a lot of people were just like, screw these companies. They should have just taken a loss. And other people are like, would you? Like, what do you? What?
Right.
What is that?
Shout out to Maria Lish. He works at Lowe's.
Where it's like, or do you want them to take a loss and then charge you more for everything else? For like, so they get like the purists that are just like, if you bought that $500 tool for $90, you're a thief and you should kill yourself. Like, people were really mad at some
whole drama.
Yeah, drama. Yeah, like really mad at people that took advantage of that deal because they might have gotten the intern fired that did the spreadsheet. Yeah, it was wild, man. That's it. I satisfied my desire to talk about that.
Well, will you invite us? Will you invite us to that group so we can like be your friends in there and give you some like street cred?
I don't think that's the type of group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Fine. My neighbor's a woodworker. He might be in there.
I mean, there's this group called Woodworking for Beginners, but then like, people post these things that take them like 800 hours to complete. I'm like, okay, that doesn't look like beginner work.
I made a bubblegum machine and a bread box in woodshop in the 7th grade.
Cool. Is that like, was that like your?
Did it take you 800 hours to complete?
It's part of your dowry. It's part of your dowry.
Projects. My dad loved them. He did. He had the red box on the counter forever. Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah, my mom gave me a box the other day of all these things I made in grade school, like little ceramic things. Yeah, it brought back a lot of memories, though. Really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so ready to get this going.
I made a ceramic bird that looked like Captain Caveman. That's the memory brought back. Yeah, we're ready to get started.
Let's get it started in here.
This is like the closest we've come to starting on time in quite a while.
Right. Go ahead and start recording the audio, senor.
Guess we know who to thank for that.
All right.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Endless Ranters. Welcome back for episode 141 of your Endless Ranters podcast. Thanks for listening, watching, and subscribing. We truly appreciate the support. My name's Chris. I'm one of your hosts for this evening. I'm joined by the one and only Robbie Spotlight. What up, Robbie? Good to see you, Daddy-O.
Hey, what up, homies? How's it going?
Back from the dead.
It's going great, man. Yeah, we're going to
Back
catch up
from
with
the
you.
Dad.
Yeah, we're going to catch up with you and what you've been up to, what kind of shenanigans and, you've been up to lately.
For sure.
But first, it's America's favorite soggy mom and purveyor of the finest crystals. It's Quana. How you doing?
Soggy as ever.
If you're in the crystal market, collagen market, you need to get in touch with this girl.
That's right.
I know I get no social love at the end of this show, but that's okay.
Well, we
Come
should
on.
start.
Mama.
We should start because I actually believe in that stuff, but I don't need it because I'm going to live forever. So
Yeah.
it's like other people should know about it.
And you're Asian. Your skin is obviously
Yeah.
it's better than ours.
It's the dolphin DNA. It's the dolphin DNA, of course.
It's
And then there's the man with the plan. It's producer man. What's going down, ball man?
I would like to ask you, Chris, and everyone else, have you accepted our Lord and Savior Donald Trump as your as your savior, Christopher, Robbie?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, no.
Well, he announced that he was going down to Palestine, and now FEMA has reversed the decision. So,
Oh, did that just happen?
mhm.
Yeah, that was classic
Sorry.
Trump. That was classic Trump announcing that. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to do that. But just mainly because I don't really like redheaded people.
Okay.
It's has nothing to do with my religious convictions, whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he did that in the last few hours. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
And then they got the
And
check.
so then
out.
FEMA said, okay, we're reversing our decision.
That's classic.
That's good. I'm glad they all stepped up, right?
Yeah. So tonight we're going to try to cover as much of this crazy world as we can. Okay.
And there's so much to choose from. It's
Yeah.
so overwhelming. It's
I
like
know, we got
it's like
trains.
it's like
We
what is it? Our version of what is it? Black Mirror. It's like just turn on
Oh,
the
yeah,
TV
yeah.
and choose your fucking
Yeah, it's real life.
go. Fucked up,
Yeah.
bro.
And the interactiveness is like, what wormhole on social media do you want to go down? But it's we got trains, we got UFOs, we got assault balloons, we got assault hobbyist balloons, we got the mix, we got the Super Bowl of opinions, we got
Chris, trains. You're talking about that police officer woman that did the whole.
Oh, dude, that was January.
Robbie.
Okay.
No, bro, she's
Even
old hat.
offline. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
gone.
there was a Pottery Barn warehouse that burned down. Chickens are dying everywhere. The World War III.
Bill Gates is manufacturing eggs. Like a lot of things are happening.
And to top it all off, thanks to Tech Gone Wild, we don't even know if it's real. Anyway, but let me tell you what is real.
Hey.
Almost went to Applebee's last Saturday night.
Oh, how thrilling.
I got closer than ever.
What's
Did you give someone the finger on the way over?
No, that was a Chili's, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, my bad. Wrong.
I think that was a Fridays.
All Rosie to
I feel like there was a
Chili's.
point where Fridays and Chili's may have been the same thing. Yeah.
Well, you
I don't
said
know.
Chili's. You said Chili's on the pod.
Okay. Well, I was wrong. I did give someone the finger though. And it was we went to the same restaurant.
The chicken finger?
No, the boneless chicken. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I was like, it was Saturday night. It was kind of getting late in the afternoon, evening. And, Laura was like, it's getting late. I don't really have anything ready. Like, should we just go out to dinner? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, we should go to Applebee's. And usually, like, she'll just like eye roll, like this time she was like, I'm never going to go to an Applebee's, right? So there was like a softening there. And I didn't answer the question. So like technically that conversation didn't end. So I'm working on it, but there was a softening. Like it was the first time we talked about it, So I don't know. It's going to happen soon.
Christopher, this is how you do it.
Mhm.
One time you like get your kids someplace, like drop them off somewhere, but go like around 3 or 4 o'clock when there's nobody there, but you're on the happy hour dime. Their beers are so cold and they have the best appetizers.
myself?
They have like No, take your wife.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
even ask. Women don't want you to ask.
I want to take my whole family because in the commercials, like the whole family's there. The food is glistening. It's like all the food is shiny and like steaming. Even the vegetables are glistening in the light.
Their appetizers are really.
Chris,
They have these.
All the
they have
kids look
these
in the
happy.
commercials. In
They
the
all look
commercials,
happy.
your wife is going to be a woman of color, and then you're half Asian. Your daughters are going to be half Mexican and half Russian.
I don't know if Applebee's has had to. I don't know if Applebee's had to go there yet, but
yet
they had that country song made after him. So
it's just I don't know. Like, do you like? I mean, you want like your food to have a matte finish, like or do you want it to glisten?
Yeah. No, I
whatever.
agree.
To each his own. Plus, they had this deal. I had this deal once where like you'd go there and listen to this. You'd go there and you'd order food, right?
All right.
Yeah.
As most restaurants.
And then they'd prepare this food. They'd bring it out to you with drinks, right?
Uh-huh.
Appetizers, entree. And then when you're about to leave, they had this deal where they'd bring you a whole nother meal to take home with you for free. Somebody tell me what the problem is.
Right. I hear you.
Some of us have been to Applebee's, and I'm not a chain restaurant girl. I love a nice family-owned restaurant. I feel like they put a little bit more effort forward, but I will tell you this, Christopher. Applebee's has the coldest beer. They believe that their tap should be kept ice cold. So their tap beer is so cold. They have great like hurricanes and like those weird fruity drinks that some people like.
Some people.
Those are fine, like ladies. I was gonna say ladies like that.
You hear how she said some people?
Yeah.
What do you mean, some people?
Not me. I like the cold beer. The beer is so cold.
How cold is it?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. But then they have like appetizers with all kinds of beer cheese. Like it's delicious. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll let you guys know. I'll take a picture when we get there.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's been a softening, so just keep
make sure you like and
maybe
subscribe.
dollar up a little bit.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Anyway, so the Super Bowl happened. Everybody's just about forgotten about it yet, but we have thoughts still. We have strong opinions because that's what it was all about.
I didn't watch anything. I didn't attend any barbecue. No, nothing. I was so disappointed that nobody reached out. Y'all let me down. I wanted brisket and I would have provided the awesome atmosphere, but no.
See what I'm talking about?
Manny.
Super Bowl is so polarizing and upsetting.
I know, man.
It's driving a wedge between us, man.
And it was all just supposed to be a simple gathering. And here we are.
I was thinking like we have to add something.
A nation divided.
Yeah, America's pastimes like baseball, sports, like hot dogs. Like I want to add something. It's like having a strong opinion about everything. Right away. Like right away.
Yes. Give it
Just
no thoughts.
I got like a 6-shooter. Like I got like holsters on both hips full of opinions. And I got a bandolier with like opinions in every slot, like just ready for every situation. Yeah, it's wild. Like, I don't know. I kind of like the Super Bowl lost me with the nip slip way back. As far as like, this is a important American event, for our culture. Like they lost me back then. So like everything now is just like kind of an extension of that. Like they realize like we can do all these things and we can have like the Black national anthem and that creates another industry and like makes us a lot more money and like it creates all these events and parties that have to be licensed. And so it's just, so I kind of adjusted over the years to where I just want to see the game and I just want to kind of see like just the cultural phenomena.
Well, actually, before you move on, since this topic is still fresh on our minds, and our resident feminist is here with us.
Yeah, he is.
Robbie.
Welcome back.
Since in my eyes, in my mind, in my heart of hearts, in my truth, titties are literally life. So is a nip slip on live TV really that bad of a thing? Sound off.
No. I'm one of those people that we want to hashtag free the nipple. Right. Yeah. So the nip. I mean, why can't men? Yeah, there you go. Juana was about to expose her nipple. About to. So if you're listening on
save it for Patreon, Robbie.
Exactly. Go to our YouTube, subscribe, and you may see the nipple. But if us men can show our nipples on TV or on social media, why can't the ladies? This is discrimination. I don't get it. Why are we still having these standards? Do you guys know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So
Down with the
Antiquated.
matriarchy.
yeah.
Down with
Power
it.
to the people.
Power to the ladies, power to the women.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
free the nipple,
that's what I meant.
hashtag.
Yeah, I meant down with the patriarchy. I forgot. That's the other podcast I do.
His woodworking podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Hit that. Yeah. No, forget all that. But
Sure.
yeah, like I do. Robbie, you're like at the in the culture wars, Robbie's the target. When he has time to check in with us during the week, it's like he's like,
Oh man.
getting an ass full of culture.
Jeez. Oh. But I'm still here. I'm still here in San Francisco, the Bay Area. Still here. My let me so my stepson this morning, it's Black History Month, which is great. Black history is American history, right? But first of all, he was telling me a few days back, like I said, great, cool, tell me some history. He goes, well, George Washington invented peanut butter. I'm like, George Washington,
Carver.
Yeah, exactly. The president. He goes, yeah, the president. I'm like, yeah, the president. I'm like, dude, can you please just maybe be more clear?
Yeah, our first president was black. I mean, it's
Exactly.
about time. It's about time we make this happen.
He was black, and instead of gold teeth, he had wooden teeth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, so that was fine. Peanut butter, great peanut butter. And then today, he called me through the Alexa device, the Alexa show, and he's like, can you tell my mom? Can you ask her? I can't find my shirt. He was supposed to show up today with the Kenyan colors, the flag. So he was supposed to show up with white, red, black, and green or something like that. Like that. The Kenyan colors. And I'm like, dude,
those are literally the three colors of every flag of the African continent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm like, are you with these schools? I get it. Like I support awareness. I support it. But with these schools, it's like jump, the teachers tell you to jump, the students are gonna ask how high, like next month is gonna be Women's History Month. Okay, what are you gonna do? Dad, my teacher told me I have to come in my mom's pumps on Friday morning, and I have to find her favorite pumps. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's find your favorite, my mom's favorite pumps. Great.
I don't think they call them pumps anymore.
In solidarity to mom and the women out there. Okay, great. So I got to find the Louboutins out there. Mom, can you find your best Louboutins? So, I don't know. I don't, or Mexican history, Hispanic history or whatever. Oh, we got, Mom, can you buy maracas? My teacher said I have to buy maracas so I can show up to school with maracas. Yeah.
Or an oversized sombrero.
Oh, or sombrero. Yeah. Great.
This is outrageous. And just to show that I'm equally offended by all this crap is like, there was a time where like, I think it was maybe third grade, my son, like they were, it was like dressed like a cowboy day, which it's Texas. It's cool. Like, but they like the whole thing was like, I had to go to the damn store.
Oh yeah.
It's like, you just assume we got cowboy gear laying around. Like, this is not like, this is the suburbs, lady. Like,
yeah.
So we had to go to the store, and I'm like walking around the store like rip shit pissed at these teachers. Like,
yeah, why do we have to
you're
go
making
to the store?
me do this?
Yeah,
I should be home right now watching Tucker. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's like you're like that. That's what got like what I heard was like you got to go buy it. Like, I don't care if it's like a USA shirt or a freaking Free the Whale shirt. Like, you're making me go buy something. Like, no, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an attack.
Oh, it's annoying. Like, yeah, we don't want to buy anything. Just teach us. How about that? Teach us correctly. Teach us, Black history. I don't know what they learned for Chinese New Year. I
Dude,
He
I
didn't
think
come in.
like as far as history goes, like history of
How
the
to
world,
use an abacus.
I bought him an abacus actually.
like I'd be fine if like they just stopped teaching history. Because I mean, the history of the world and like to like, what are you trying to teach a third or fourth or fifth or even sixth,
Yeah.
seventh grader? Like, I really would like you to dumb it down as much as you can, and then let parents like explain the world to their kids. Like,
Yeah.
it's there's too much there. Like I think my generation, I got a very dumbed, watered down version of history.
Mhm.
Like, should I have gotten like a really intense nuance like in the fourth grade? I don't think so, because I don't think I could have handled it. You know,
Yeah.
like you learn a lot more about history when you're mature and you can understand like what oppression is. Like,
Mhm.
fourth grader has no idea what that is. Like, just I guess now they do, because they make them do these weird things in class where they have to like segregate in class and serve the
Simulated oppression.
yeah, real
Right.
weird. But that's more like just like, why is this grown-up teacher like abusing me? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Bumming out kids. Like everybody, seems like the goal of
I just-
teachers to bum out kids.
they just want us divided. I think that's
Yeah.
like either the main goal or a byproduct. They just want everybody divided and fighting all the time.
Mhm.
Because the Super Bowl is just like, hey man, the more people fight about these things, the more people fight about whether Rihanna was good or bad.
All right, but at a certain point, though, too much chaos can't be good for the bottom line. So, at what point does this eventually reach a tipping point where there's just too much infighting? And
I think that the people that are doing these things, or I don't really want to give them like that there's these diabolical thinkers, but like it's just very short term, because there's enough there to like just do it short term, cash out, and you just ride off in the sunset, and like the next idealistic person comes in and then sells out or whatever.
I gotcha.
So I think there's so much. If there was like a 2% gain, to be like, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. If it was 2% of $1,000, it's not worth it. But it's 2% of billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you plug it into a calculator. It's like, oh, that's worth it. It's worth it to like just say whatever, do whatever, take whatever shot you have to take to get access to this game. But so either on purpose or byproduct, they just want us divided, and I don't know.
Seems like it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, my advice on that note, like, it's never too early to drive a wedge between your kids and the institutions that are coming after them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you want to like play NWA for your kids.
Yeah.
On the way to school in the carpool lane.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Some do,
Kids are, they're good.
But never
Instill a nice level of skepticism in the child to be able to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, I mean, literally, like the whole fall 2020, when our kids went back to school, and I'd be dropping my son off in the carpool. He'd be about to get out of the car, get his backpack ready, be like, "Hey, remember, son, your science teacher's going to wear you make a mask." And I'd start laughing maniacally, and he'd be like, "What's so funny?" I'd be like, "I just cry." You'll get it later.
Inside joke.
You'll get it later. But it was like, he's not really, but just plant the seed that, man, you're gonna know these people for like 6 months out of your whole life.
Yeah.
But then it's also like important, as parents, you got to be there. Like, you can't farm your kids out to teachers. Like, you got to be there to fill in that space and like fill them with your culture, the culture you want them to have, whatever it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree.
Are you good?
I was just
If their school is funky, like, you don't want your kid to feel like an outcast. So you should make sure that you go buy the cowboy hat and you go buy the Kenyan shirt. You know what I mean? You don't want them to feel like an outcast, because it is whatever it is that they're doing. But if that's the school that you decided to send your kid to, you don't want them to feel an outcast because their politics are bullshit.
Yeah.
Or,
that's my issue.
Play a lot of outcast and tell them it's a good thing. Tell them it's good.
Hit up your local thrift store and get
With
your By the way, I honestly think these teachers They make you spend all this money on these frivolous activities or homework assignments because it's their way of getting back at you for them having to spend money on your kids in the first. Like it's a cyclical.
I bet there is a little bit of microaggression, like you goddamn parents, like,
Yeah.
oh, you don't appreciate what I do for your kids, damn it. You know, like,
I'll show
It gets-
you.
Cowboy
it gets
night.
more and more. You're right.
Wear
It
your
gets more
best
and more.
boots. You know, like
It
they're
gets
like,
more and more.
tell your kids to wear their best cowboy boots, and it's like nobody has cowboy boots. They're really impractical. Like our kids
For
are
a child.
our kids are in third grade. They're going like through 2 shoe sizes a year, and I'm supposed to have cowboy boots.
And
Like,
none of them are into equestrian
lady,
activities.
You just stole $50 from me. That's what you just did. And
Yeah.
you gave it to Walmart.
Yeah.
And now we have a mint pair and then we're going to sell those on Facebook Marketplace for $10.
Yeah, you're just going to use it once.
What an economy. What an economy we've got.
Save them for Robbie's baby.
Yeah. Well, look, what I don't like is they're going to feel like outcasts. Well, what if they don't want to do it? What if they don't want to wear it? What if they feel uncomfortable with it? Or, they're going to, like I said, I don't like the whole teachers or the school admin saying, all right, jump. And then the kids are going to, okay, well, how high? Wear this, wear that, wear a wig, wear this, wear Gee, come on, guys. Really? Can we just go and learn? How about that? Just show us, learn us. How about learn us?
Mm-hmm.
I feel
memorize
like right now they're
the
trying
multiplication table. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
And
they're
come
trying
home.
to like make the kids feel comfortable again, making it more fun and like a group experience. Because I know when my kids were little, there were days like I remember like crazy t-shirt day, crazy hair day, dress up like a whatever day, dress up like it was always something. Like I think that that's just part of being a parent. They want you to have your kids interacting. And
there's all that stuff. It's rarely patriotic though, isn't it? Nowadays, rarely.
Oh, can't do that.
Anyway, but like
right.
Super Bowl. So, my last technical gripe would be they experimented with grass for the Super Bowl. They literally rolled out like a new breed of grass they've been growing or whatever for this, and it was shit. It was a shit show. It was terrible. Most people are like don't remember now, but like players were slipping all over the place because someone decided. And of course, they decided because like when you upgrade the grass, like there's a transaction, like someone's making more money.
Right.
No one's like, hey, NFL, we got a better grass for you, and it's cheaper. It's like, no, we have a better grass for you for your fields, and it's 50% more. And and then they had a terrible turf. Like just
what do you mean
crazy?
50%?
Like why do we keep doing that? No, well, like no one like I'm in sales, right? So I sell a product. Right?
Oh, okay.
And then we come up with a better product.
I thought the grass
and we don't come out
longer.
we don't come out with a better product and be like, look, this better product's got more features and it's cheaper. It's like, no, it's got more features and it's more expensive because that's how it works. And so basically it's because someone wanted to make more money off grass. They experimented with grass during the Super Bowl. Like there's just no reason. We have grass that works. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, did it like leak onto uniforms? Was that the problem with it?
It was just ripping up. It was like one of the players described it as if you rolled out a bunch of sod on grass that it was already there. Like you have like sod slipping on top of sod.
Wow, that sucks. So that made it for.
And there's so many other distractions.
There was a bad call at the end? Wasn't there a bad call at the end?
There's just those things add up to where like every player is like every defender that has to react is like a half step slower.
Gotcha.
So it just kind of gives the offense more advantage, and it's just an unforced error, which is kind of the topic of our next subject. The UFOs and trains and all the distractions. But there's so many distractions even during the Super Bowl itself, and people are online complaining about the Black national anthem in the second quarter still.
Right.
They're not even noticing that like these jackasses decided to use a brand new type of strain of grass, and the players are falling down everywhere, like because there's so many distractions.
Right.
It's crazy. And the unforced errors, like why?
By the way, What you just mentioned about the distractions, the forced distractions, it reminded me about my blues drumming nickname that was inspired by inspired by true events about what happened with the shoot down over Lake Huron. Aside from Mole Man, refer to me when I'm on the drums as Choppy Waters.
Choppy. Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, Choppy Waters.
I heard Choppy Waters sold a soul to the devil way back. Way back in
Please
1932.
Manny, don't do that.
Never, no. I wouldn't do such a thing.
Well, but you won it back in a drum solo contest, of course.
Yeah, man.
I thought that was a fiddle. Oh wait, Manny, gotcha. Okay, sorry.
I was just describing the movie Crossroads with Ralph Macchio.
Okay, I was doing the
Back in
devil
the
rolls
80s.
down to Georgia.
I think that's part of it. It's like, what was that? Yeah, anyway.
Charlie Daniels.
UFOs and trains.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to tell you before we start talking about hobby balloons, I know exactly what happened. I know how it all is tied together. So here,
Okay, let's go.
a couple weeks ago, Chinese weather balloons intercepted alien communications. And in this, they discovered that the aliens were coming to kidnap the smartest man in the world, according to our president, Hunter Biden. So you see, they came here because they need energy resources, right? And they know, as we all know, like Hunter Biden is a global expert on energy, oil, natural gas.
Absolutely.
Math and math.
Yeah. And
Energy.
And obviously,
crystal.
For the alien invaders, our overlords, obviously his expertise in human trafficking is
second to none.
Yeah, second to none. Very important to their operation. How to move humans.
Allegedly.
Yeah, sure. And then Joe Biden, President Joe Biden being the hands-on kind of dad he is.
Okay.
Hey,
I caught that.
Stop, man. That's not cool. All right. He's like, no way, Jack.
And calm down.
No way, Jack. You aliens, because that's how he refers to aliens, Jack or boy.
Yeah.
So, and he also knows because he also knows that phosgene gas that's emitted when you burn vinyl chloride is like the alien kryptonite. So he blew up those trains to save his son. Who wouldn't do that? And then tell me where I'm not wrong.
Oh, you're like
and also, like Joe
table.
Biden's on the record saying he loves trains. He used to take the train every day. It must have been really hard. It was really hard. It was a hard call.
Look at you, yeah.
It was a really tough call.
And then all the trains are owned by BlackRock, and we know he's in bed with them. Like it seems very stuff.
Oh, I don't know. You want to go there already?
So,
well,
I bet a lot of people don't even know what BlackRock is. They don't know what their involvement is.
I know what it is. I know their ownership of it. Yeah.
Just a Google.
Well,
know what they're doing, what they own, what they're about.
Of course, in my mind, when I hear like there was a talk, like some people were careless and did a toxic spill in someone's backyard, my mind goes to like vigilante justice. And it's like, all right, well, they did this to that person. Those people should go to that person's backyard and dump a bunch of shit in their creek. See how they like it, So I'm like, so then the next question is, okay, well, who owns the Norfolk Southern? Like who owns these railroad companies and all that stuff? And it's like, people aren't going to like the answer because it is it's BlackRock and Vanguard and all this stuff, but it's like, who owns those? Like, and the people of that town in East Palestine, they're about to find out that everybody does. So if there's one takeaway, is like, who owns Norfolk Southern? Like whose backyard and creek should we go to and like dump toxins in their backyard so that we can be even, like who deserves like eye for an eye?
Mm-hmm.
Who makes them cut costs for higher profits, right?
Yeah.
So like, we don't need to replace that brakes on that car. They're fine. Who benefits when they do this?
They benefit from the insurance claims for their accident.
Again, who's they? Like, who's they? So
Vanguard and BlackRock.
All right.
They're investors, right? I don't know.
We're going to get into who they are, right? So
okay.
The people at the town are about to find out, like, who benefits from all that stuff. And the answer is everybody but them.
Yeah.
So we say
Okay.
BlackRock. Everybody's like BlackRock, Vanguard. Well, guess what those are? Like they're just like massive mutual fund companies.
Firms,
Like, right?
yeah.
So millions of Americans through their 401ks, IRAs, retirement plans that they pay no attention to. Like, I don't care anybody. Like, average person that has a 401k, you can't name 5 stocks you own in those mutual funds. Like you don't pay attention. So you give all your money, you contribute 3%, your company matches another 3%, whatever, 5%, 10, whatever it is. And you just give it all to these people. And what they do with your money is they go buy train companies, they go buy railroads, right? And then they buy them in your name with your money and the teachers unions money and all that. Some of them are like retail people with E-Trade, they buy Norfolk Southern, but the vast majority is these groups. But it's not their money. There wasn't like a Mr. BlackRock or a Mr. Vanguard that just had $7 billion to invest.
Right.
Like there's a bunch of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right? And Jones and whatever, and Gonzalez that contribute to their 401ks and don't pay attention. So that you give them all their money and they go and buy a railroad. And then they put all their buddies on the board because their job now is to like make it as profitable as possible because they have to have returns or people won't give them their money. So they put all their people on the board and lo and behold, all their buddies are like, no, we shouldn't replace those brakes. Like those brakes are perfectly fine. And we should also like pay a bunch of lobbyists to go to Washington because we have so much money. These people have given us so much of their money. We need to protect it, right? We need to make it make money. So let's send the people to Washington, D.C. in their name, to lobby to make sure that those brakes don't get replaced. And then Norfolk Southern makes a lot of profits and your mutual fund goes up and your 401k goes up and you're living with confidence out there. And then you got millennial kids. And guess what? Like millennials, your college is getting paid for by these things. Like your first car was paid for because your parents own Vanguard mutual funds. So they go up and it's a wild system. It's so impressive. I don't really think it's evil. But it's a system that just makes everybody complicit. Because if you go to Vanguard's website right now, just vanguard.com, whatever, and go to the main page that Google brings you to, it's one of those websites that has just like rotating pictures and it's all just normal people, like old retired couple, an Asian family.
Yeah.
Some
I have an Asian family.
People of caramel colored skin. You're not really sure if they're like, they could be Hispanic, they could be Native American, they could be like they hit all of it. And it's just all normal people because that's
caramel is the color of the future, Chris.
That's the truth. It's like normal people. Like everybody, like if you have a 401k right now, or you have an IRA, you have a mutual fund, you own a piece of Norfolk Southern.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm not going to pretend like I know a lot about a lot, but do you not think that like the Rothschilds and the Soros and those people have like their hands in that? Like, or do you think that that's
I think
not
a long
anything
time
that they
ago,
have to?
I think a long time ago, they discovered this thing that's going to happen in humanity, whether or not they do it or whether the Smiths do it or whether the Wangs do it, or whether the Gonzalez's do it. They realize there's this thing in humanity
had, like,
that
this plan for things like this, like if they've already said at open meetings that they have plans for things like this, and then these things happen, we have to pretend like they didn't say those things. Like,
no, we don't have to, like, people don't care. Like, like the truth is, like, the vast majority of people don't care that they said those things. They're just like,
right. Well, Google George Soros, Google Vanguard, Google these things, people. Google it. Don't Google it. DuckDuckGo that shit.
Yeah,
Get on your Brave browser.
My goal is like more awareness, like, because it's like, this is like my mental process is like, man, someone should pay for this. And it's like, well, who's benefiting from all these cost cutting measures? It's like all of you.
Right.
So yeah, maybe a few hundred years ago, some banking family was just like, hey man, I got this great idea. We can make this system.
And we'll make say though, is the problem that we think that it's that removed, but I don't know that it is. I really don't. I feel like they still have such a hand in it.
Well,
and I know it leads back all the conspiracy theories, but
they created a system that will live on with or without them. Of course, they're going to be in it, but they created a system that like makes everybody complicit, but it also benefits a lot of people. Like without these things happening, you don't get $1 million MRI machines. Sorry, you don't.
Right.
You don't get cancer treatments. You know, the price we pay is like we get a shoddy COVID vaccine that doesn't work.
So have you entertained the thought of what would happen if the system wasn't in place?
I think, yes. I think like I need to make sure my son knows how to start a fire. Like all my kids, like I need to make sure they know like how to like some basic, survival skills. Like, because I don't think it's like it's not going to be like everybody just wakes up tomorrow or a few years from now. It's like we should get rid of this system. It's going to be gotten rid of because of some catastrophe.
Right. I
But
feel
yeah,
like
that's just the way of the world. Like this is the world. Like you can't really stop it. So my whole thing about the Super Bowl is like, is just like, you got to kind of adjust your mentality to like be okay with it, or like, not okay with it, but like not be pissed about it all the time, not be stressed about it all the time. Like I watch the Super Bowl now with like, I'm like, I'm not going to get offended, but I wonder what everybody else is going to get upset about because it's going to be pretty funny.
I wonder if the viewership was down. Do we know?
I don't think so. I think it was way up. I think it was up more than I would think it was up more than they even expected.
Oh, good.
Because they realize like people aren't tuning in for positivity, right?
They want to see the next controversy.
I guarantee you there's a bunch of white people that tuned in early to make sure they got offended by the Black national anthem. Like you can skip it. Like I didn't even know what was happening. It was on our TV. First of all, I'm like, I got a few in me. But I walked past, it was on our TV and I was like, oh, what is this? Like the third verse of America the Beautiful? Like, I don't even know what, but like there were some people that it was like appointment viewing to tune into that because they heard it was going to happen and they wanted to get fired up about it.
Right.
I don't even think those people are racist. I think they're just fucking like just addicted to drama.
Yeah.
And like, and then the NFL figured out. Yeah, the NFL's figured out like, hey man, like the more like weird, like offshoots and things that we create, like the better. Like Rob was joking about like they'll have a transnational anthem. And I'm like, man, you're not kidding.
Did you guys hear any of the controversy about how some of the players are coming out and saying that like the NFL is scripted? Like,
oh yeah.
Oh
have you
yeah.
seen that?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Is that devastating? I mean, when I even said that, I got like I
don't really believe
how
it.
How dare you say that? I'm like, oh, sorry, I just heard what I heard.
I don't really believe it because I don't think that many, like virile 20-some-year-old men would be down with that. But then again, they all got vaccinated, didn't they?
And they all get paid big monies, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I think the NFL like favors big market teams. It's fine. Like that. I understand that. So I don't think they're ever going to rig a game to where the Baltimore Ravens win, because it's like really a really small market team. Like we're surrounded by a bunch of big cities and, they know the Ravens it's kind of maxed out on number of fans. So like, yeah, they'd much rather the Cowboys be in the Super Bowl or the Patriots or whatever,
Doesn't everybody kind of pick a team at the end though? I don't know. I mean, I'm honest.
For the Super Bowl?
Like it just
this year I hadn't
like in sports, like if you have a team and then your team falls out in the playoffs or whatever that game thing is right for it.
Oh, that's like a whole nother
like a favorite of the two teams that are there. Like you just pick a side, right? Like maybe it's a team that you beat your team, you're not going to root for them or whatever the case may be. Right?
This is where we should bring Sean, our buddy Sean Z on this because he and I chat about this. This is where men get real like ladylike.
Okay.
Because like the process of who we pick week to week after our team gets knocked out, the process of who we side for week to week after that gets real petty. Yeah,
Petty.
that's a perfect word. It gets real petty because it changes because it's like I wanted the Bills to win the next game because I hated the Bengals so much. Like
Pettiness.
the
is
way they were
amazing.
acting. But then it's not like I wanted the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Like I was going to cut their throat the next week and start talking trash about them if they won. I'd want the, because I already had the scheming in my brain was already like, if they do win, then there's this other AFC team they'll have to play, and I want that team to win because I don't like that B. I don't like that B much more than the other one. But yeah, it gets real petty. There's probably some principled ones that are like, well, my team's out, so the next team will be my wife's, hometown team.
Yeah.
But no, for me, it's like, no, I got like this real like matrix of pettiness going on who I want to win the Super Bowl. It gets real personal too.
I remember when I was, back when there was, remember the Lakers Showtime? I used to love Magic Johnson. He was the, best back then. I used to literally, I thought it was magic the way he would pass and stuff like that. But I used to hate back then Michael Jordan. But why would I hate him? It was because he was so good. He was so good. And I'm like, man, he must have done like a deal with the devil or something. I don't know.
He's attacking your guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it was always Lakers versus Bulls, Lakers, Bulls and stuff. Now it's
why you're such a big LeBron fan.
Exactly. Now I freaking now I hate LeBron, but Jordan's my guy. Like, Jordan, I love Jordan. I love his drive, his work ethic, etc.
I really hope LeBron has a social media team around him that's keeping him up to date. Like how many more Michael Jordan videos are being shared? Like as soon as LeBron broke the scoring record, all I see is like my friends sharing Michael Jordan videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
And he's got to be like, yeah, it's got to be upsetting. If he has a team.
Maybe
the only
I
reason. Yeah, go ahead.
I was in Sacramento, so I feel like maybe because we were like didn't have a team, and then when the Kansas City Royals came to Sacramento, like that was such a huge deal. Like I was never a Lakers fan. Like I've always just been a Sacramento Kings fan. Like so much love the Kings. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I love
sports, man. Like it's very manly, but yeah, we get real petty about that stuff too.
We do.
But yeah, UFOs, like so we settle on like
good segue.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's all these distractions.
UFO sports.
I don't know, Robbie. I don't know how we got back in the Super Bowl, but like the
it was you.
Okay.
It was always you, man.
So the best thing that happened to me all week, I've told you guys, was it looks like one of the UFOs that we shot down, that an F-22 shot down, was a hobbyist like weather balloon at this nerd hobby club in Illinois.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be Alex Jones, but I cannot believe that you're actually even putting that narrative into the universe. Like that's not what happened. Right?
I think it is what happened. Yeah, I think it is what happened. I'm not even joking.
Oh
because I tell you what, when you read an article about what the military is saying, it's just like bullshit, unclear bullshit. But when you read the article about this club, they give you details. They tell you the last known spot of the weather balloon that they lost track of. They tell you exactly what height it was at. They provide details, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And they tell you, I'm telling you about this article. Like they tell you that they lost track, but when they lost track of it, well, the first thing to do is they go to like the National Oceanic or Atmospheric, whatever. And they say, okay, well, according to the NOAA and the wind patterns, where is it most likely that our weather balloon is going to show up? Right. Because it's not going to disappear and float in outer space. It's going to show up like in the middle of the country somewhere. And they projected that at the time this all went down, that it would be exactly where it was, where an F-22 missed, or yeah, I think they got him on the first shot on this one. We didn't miss on the first shot on this one, but yeah. So they're providing these details that back up that narrative, whereas the other side is talking
Who's
about
they? Who's they? The same people that told you that the vaccine was safe and effective? Those same people, the people we've been listening to for 2 years, lie to us every day on the TV.
No, I mean, I don't know what the point is of thinking everybody's lying to you. And I'm talking about Aviation Weekly, a bunch of aviation nerds that are actually real journalists that don't really make, like, they're in it because they like love aviation stuff. They're not in it to become a CNN anchor like all these other liars. They're in it like, they're just like real articles. Like there are real people out there that are like doing real things.
The balloon? They found the balloon?
No, they haven't. No, they're not going to find it.
Oh, okay.
All they said was that they lost track of this balloon at a certain height. And according to the NOAA, because these are not crackpots, like they're university, like they're tied in with universities and research. So they know like where, okay, well, if we lost track of it, like, where is it going to go? Because we do know the weather, we know where wind blows, and they're like, actually, according to the NOAA and the wind patterns, it was going to be exactly where they shot down a UFO. And I'm just saying, when you look at the guy, the most frustrating part about it is when you see the guy, the military spokesman at the podium in the uniform with all the flair. And I say flair because, the guy that's a spokesman wasn't like, slitting throats in the bunker in the foxhole in Nam. Like, so I say flair. And he's talking about things like it was unclear what type of propulsion system the UFO was using. It's like, well, it's like the lies are so clinical. It's impressive, because it's like, well, first of all, it's floating. You can't see wind. So yeah, it's not going to be clear. And then also it could just be like the way these guys talk, they could literally just be talking about there was a smudge on the camera lens. Like we have a picture of the UFO, but it was fuzzy, aka unclear. So they use these words. Mm-hmm. You read an article written by some aviation nerd in Aviation Weekly that like actually cites data, like real coordinates. So yeah, I'm putting that out there. I think that's what happened.
I can't wait for the day where we read or see a story where another fighter pilot shoots down a hot weather balloon. It reminds me of when they were looking for Chris Dorner and the sheriffs opened up on those two Mexican ladies or Hispanic ladies delivering papers.
Well, no one's
even though they were in a blue truck and Chris's was supposed to be silver or some shit. Like, how you make that?
The first couple days, there was like audio from the pilot that said that he lost control of his like stuff, and that it was like they described it as a shape that I don't even know how to say.
That's another subject.
Oh, okay.
But before we get it, I mean, you're the one who told us about Project Bluebeam, so we'll get into that in a second. But I'll tell you one thing about this is that there will never be another Balloon Boy hoax. I mean, no.
Shout out to Balloon Boy. Hope you're all right.
No caring parent is ever going to let their son get float away in a balloon.
Yeah,
that's
too risky now.
Or even make up a hoax about it.
Missiles.
Yeah.
Good point, Christopher.
I think that's
Didn't
what
even think about that.
Yeah, I think that's. I just like if all I have is what's out there, and one person is just like bullshitting me nonstop, and one person is just like, well, here's a few facts, like, take it or leave it. Who do you believe? Also, the best part about it, and we'll move on, is like they made Trudeau give the order. But this isn't the one. This wasn't the one over Lake Huron. This is the one where Trudeau had this video where he was real somber and just in all his creep and like his maximum creepiness, and he was like, well, it was floating, and NORAD, I gave the order. It was like our generals punked him into giving the order to shoot down the hobby balloon.
Chris, that's Ronald Reagan.
It's genius. Oh, did I?
Yeah.
No. So yeah, that wasn't the one. That was the one that we like tricked Justin Trudeau to take credit for. It's amazing.
It is amazing.
But Project Bluebeam, All right. If you want to get into the UFO stuff, I shared that video with you guys early in the week. The Harvard scientists talking about Project Bluebeam,
Yeah,
talking about
I saw
all
it.
these advanced military things, and it's like, I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems pretty believable. It seems pretty believable, like that the United States has a military, or any first world country has a military, and you have your conventional military, and then you got this group that's like doing advanced stuff. And they're not just doing advanced stuff to, like, in theory, they're doing advanced stuff and then they try to use it. So it makes sense that they would try to use this advanced stuff to test our conventional defenses. And of course, they're not going to tell like the whatever radar analyst, that's sitting in the bunker, like, hey, we're about to bring out our next level stuff. They're not going to tell them at all. They're going to make it, not going to tell anybody. So like
Tuskegee experiment.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's just going to be what it's going to be. We're going to have to just.
Yeah, they don't care. Or it's like, I mean, to be fair, it's like, okay, well, maybe our military should be like studying advanced stuff, because
who knows? Yeah.
Like there's stuff out there, like, so they should be. And they're going to test it against conventional forces and conventional stuff to see how they react, to see how like like some civilian in the FAA reacts when there's a weather balloon, like when there's some weird thing happening. But there was a guy who was talking about how they can alter, they can basically,
right?
Well, they not just what you see to the naked eye, but they're altering matter in that space. Okay. They're altering matter in that space to where that matter, they're making things vibrate in that space in a way that it becomes visible to the naked human eye. And they're vibrating things in that space to where our radar picks it up. And people are like, wow, that's crazy. It's like, well, I mean, we've had stealth jets since I was in high school in the 80s. Like, so we have like paint.
Yeah.
I guess we have paint that like absorbs radar. Like what? So that's been around for a long time. So why would we not think that there's these, like, there aren't orbs in the sky? We're just projecting these orbs in the sky. Maybe we got this technology from Area 51, or maybe somebody made it up. I don't know, but
maybe it's just a mass projection. They say that you can like manifest things by projecting it. Maybe we're all just like, who knows? But I think that it's just it's going to be what it's going to be, and there's definitely something bigger at play. And I think that people should start Googling things that seem weird. If it seems weird, find other sources to read about. Don't just believe everything that they're saying. Like it's all fine. Like the air's fine, the water's fine.
Well, we do these things in where we take like sci-fi and we assume like if any force or organization would like to control humanity and humans, well, they must be aliens, right? Like they must not be from here. It's like, why do you think that? Like there are a lot of humans, like they're raising their hand every day that would like to control humanity. Like, so it's like but for some reason when we think there must be some control, it's gotta be some foreign, it's gotta be China, or it's gotta be an alien. It's like, oh no, it's Americans.
I think we might be part of the last group of people that kind of even know about freedom. I don't know that I taught my kids about, I mean, I always made them wear the Old Navy flag shirt every year for 4th of July. And,
of course,
spoke a little
that was
bit
$8 well spent. You're not going to you get your $8 out of that t-shirt.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know that like the patriotism of my uncle was in Vietnam and my grandpa was like, proud and like all of those things, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that our kids have that. So this next generation of kids that are coming up, they're like, where do we have to sign to get our free book or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, they don't care.
They're smarter. They're smarter people than you and I that have more control over things than you and I, that are like, yeah, maybe we do need some kind of conflict. We need like something. We need an enemy. We need an enemy. We need these Russians. Like we need them to be the enemy.
I think they should investigate, the same people that did the Tupac hologram. They need to
Everything is
investigate that.
scaring me.
They did that. We're just getting started, man.
Yeah.
That Joe Biden deep fake today.
Oh yeah, that was pretty real.
He was talking all bootylicious.
So Joe Rogan one is so believable. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Like it really sounds like.
Oh,
I've
haven't
seen a
seen
lot.
that.
Like if you listen, like Tim Pool or Tim Cass, when he'll just like sit there like on a live YouTube video, like playing with it, like playing with the chat, playing with the deep fake stuff.
Oh wow.
And he'll be like, hey, let me change these settings and see what it sounds like. And he's like doing Joe Rogan talking about bizarre stuff, and he uses his own voice, to like talk about weird stuff and like changes the settings. And they're very.
I did a resume
fascinating.
for someone a couple months ago using it, and it was so easy. Like it was just amazing.
So easy.
So easy. Just put a couple bloop, 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 and we'll cover all of it. So easy.
Yeah.
Robbie, your thing's scaring me.
So easy. We should let them do the hosting for us, right?
Oh yeah.
We're
Yeah. As soon
cuter
as
than
it's
that.
like, as soon as it's free, as soon as like Google offers like a free version of AI. Oh yeah. They're gonna be
We're
right.
in.
They're gonna be writing this show.
Yeah.
It's in.
They'll be putting out our lists.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sitting there and like one of those people in Wall-E.
It's be some amorphous
Just go
blob.
like, hey, make me a podcast tonight. Make it sound like me and my friends.
I'm gonna have to send
And
secret notes.
have
You
us
guys
talk
don't get
about
the
aliens and stuff, and like make it like funny, like not real funny, but like medium funny, and make it last 90 minutes. And then it's like it was a funny segment on, because they were talking about the whole AI and like the Bing AI that's been shut down now. And like, it starts with like, they were talking about like, just like, hey AI, I want to go to a movie tonight. I want to go to Italian tonight somewhere like 3 stars, 10 minutes away from me. Right. And then
why would you willingly go to 3-star 5?
Because
only?
you're on a budget, dude.
Oh, okay.
3 to 5 star, like 3 to 5 stars or 3, and we don't all have gold chains, man. We don't all
Step your
have
game
women.
up, peasants.
We don't all
Step
have
your
women
game
like,
up.
Ass grabbing us and throwing gold chains at us
no
like Joe.
sugar mama.
Like you and Joe G.
Instead of a Michelin rated a restaurant, just give me a Goodyear rated restaurant. Give me a Goodyear.
But it's like it starts with those kinds of conveniences, and it's just like, and then it's like, and I'd like to see a comedy movie, at around 8:30. This is the scenarios running through, and then it's like, and then his co-host Ian was like, "Hey, chatbot, like, I got in a fight with my friend last night, and I really want to call him to make sure we're okay. Should I call him now?" And the chat's like, "Wait 4 hours." So you're like, "Okay, I'll wait 4 hours." Then you call your friend in 4 hours, and your friend's good. It was the right amount of time to let it, to let him cool down, right? And then
Friends on the other, like, whoa, how'd you know, man?
And then then you get a little pop-up that says, "How was our advice? Was 4 hours the right time?" And you say yes or you say no, and they start adjusting based on all the feedback. And then I fast forward to like Tim Pool was like, "Hey, I got in a fight with my friend. Call him, pretend like you're me, and make sure we're cool, and then let me know how it goes in the morning."
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be so good.
Or it's like, mine was like, "Yeah, I'm on my way. Hey, I'm on my way home. Can you call my wife and see what kind of mood she's in?"
Yeah.
Let me know.
Kids these days, they have it made, because back in the day when I was sending dick pics, now if a deep fake, you can send a deep fake dick pic, then it could be like 3 inches longer, right?
Yeah.
But it's still useless. What are you gonna do with a dick pic? I'm sorry.
There's gonna be a whole world of like contracts and stuff. Like there's gonna be like a legal.
I hear the ladies like dick pics, right? When you send them, especially unsolicited. So if it's a deep fake one,
our resident feminist has range.
I know.
There's gonna be a new feature. There's gonna be a new feature on Tinder called legal services, where like there's contracts and things. It's like you got to get a notary public to notarize your dick pic. Like sign and date it.
Right.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, man. Like that's false representation. That's fraud.
Yeah.
It's fraud, bro.
Yeah.
You get sued.
fraud.
You get
Yeah, you're
sued.
right.
Like, and then there's like Tinder insurance. It's like, because I would like to show some fake dick pics. So it's like, so I
Yeah.
better, if I get sued, I better have insurance.
I mean, how are you gonna impress him? Yeah.
All right.
Ooh.
You know, deepfake. You know, remember that story back in the day? I don't know the name of it, but remember it was back in the kind of the Romeo and Juliet era. And it was a guy that was ugly, but he wanted to woo the girl in the balcony. So no, he was
Roxanne, or what is the
yeah.
What's the
That's the Steve Martin movie about it.
Yeah.
Cyrano de Bergerac, is that?
Cyrano de Bergerac? Yeah, there you go.
That one. Okay, he wasn't ugly. He was handsome, but he didn't know how to, woo the woman or make her fall in love.
Shrek? Are you talking about Shrek?
I think you can see them
You're
in
saying
Shrek.
you think Gerald Depardieu is a handsome man? Is that what you're saying?
No,
is that what you're telling us right now, Robbie?
We can deep fake
He's your type.
a more handsomer Gerard Depardieu.
Homo.
Yeah, full 100% homo, full.
He's good. I mean, that nose.
Yeah, that nose. I mean, I like, I don't know.
I think he's had a lot of problems, that dude. If you Google, like, he's like the poster boy for Me Too in France or something.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I do like him. I thought he was good in those movies. I like him. Good to know.
So that train
I
exploded.
still like him.
What do you think, Kwame? You think we're all poisoned now?
Yeah.
I think that creeks run into streams and lakes and rivers and oceans, and yeah, we're fucked.
I'm just waiting for the zombie apocalypse.
do.
Like, can we just have it now?
Please, no.
I think the government would be served. Like Canada is, they are fine with, if you want to die, they're like, okay, they will give you.
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
main
That is
food.
like,
Yeah. Like if you're
I
just like,
mean,
you know what? I'm fucking good. They're like, okay, we'll give you the means to do it.
there's a lot of people that don't realize that's happening. There's a really horrible thread on Twitter. This woman that's in that, like, she's going to get assisted death, but it's not really her choice. It's the best choice. It's the best choice she has. Well, it is financial, but it's a little bit different because according to her, that, like, it's not like the United States where you can have Medicare, but then also buy yourself, if you got the money, buy yourself like a kick-ass plan and buy yourself a private doctor. Like, no, you can't. You just can't do that. That's what this thread said, or that's difficult. So she was in a situation where it's like,
sounds diabolical.
The hospital,
it is.
The hospital's like who screwed her up, and they really can't heal her, or their matrix is like, the money that we're gonna have to spend on you to heal you or to get you like back to zero is like way too much. Like, so
how about you just die instead?
Yeah, why don't you take this
So you have
pill?
to commit a murder and go to prison
Jeez.
and let them take care of you. Just,
Why don't you take this pill
dope plan.
and do us all a favor, and we'll call you a hero for a minute.
Yeah.
Murder seems extreme. How about like white collar crime instead? Just be like, some
okay,
embezzlement.
You're right, Manny. You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
Because I think
Fraud.
this person comes from a family of means. Like they
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know that's heavy, but that's going on and people don't know about it. Google that. Toronto also has the first, 5 mile cities where they're literally saying that you can only go within this certain amount of radius and you have to earn points to get out. And if you don't, you can't. Like,
wait, what?
Earn points. Are we in a video game or something?
I thought I was under the impression
it out in like Vancouver or Toronto or one of those big ones. I don't know.
I mean, they roll it out. They sell it as a convenience, though. They sell it as a good thing.
Totally.
America, we got a lot of problems, but like, that stuff's, I don't know if that's happening here, but man, we, like, people here are not paying attention to all these crazy things.
They are all going to one place to talk about it. And Soros and the Vanguard and all of those people are there leading the conversations, and they're all going once a year.
Is that in the forest?
Davos.
the
Dog.
owl god.
Again, you know who's paying for them to go? Like
No.
everybody, all of us. You
Of
got a
course.
retirement plan, you got a
Of
401k, you
course.
got an IRA, you're
They
paying
all
for
fly
them.
in and people don't know about it. Like this is literally happening. They're all going and they're discussing what should happen for all of us. Like, oh, let's just take out this place and we don't need Kenya and like whatever they're doing, like they're just like deciding, right? Or no,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
It's
Some
not
people-
I think
crazy.
it's just a
I have a
natural
lot
thing.
of yeah.
Don't tell my stepson we don't need Kenya because he's gonna take it really bad.
Oh,
think-
sweet.
Don't believe me. I think it's like really evil and it's going to be really bad, but it is a very natural thing. Like once you have a thing and it exists, like there's going to be people that want to meet to talk about that thing and to manage that thing and to predict where that thing's going and to be like, what should we give this thing to like make it grow? And like, what do we think the best thing for
World
this thing to do
Economic
is?
Forum. Google it. Tell people to Google that. Google the
Oh.
World Economic Forum. They should look into it. They should at least see what
Know
they're
all
saying,
about
what
it,
they've been
yeah.
saying for years. For years,
I'm-
not just this year, not in 2020, like for years. They've all been meeting and discussing the things. And
Hey,
they're-
so
Right.
sorry to
But
cut you off.
my point, my whole thing in this is like, okay, what's next? Because
There's
it's like,
gonna-
what do you want? You just want everybody to complain that they're having these meetings. It's like, what's
No,
next?
no,
And
no,
my
no,
thing is
I
like,
have
you got to
a
start
suggestion.
making adjustments. Start making
have a
adjustments.
I have a
You're right.
suggestion for an
collecting
adjustment.
rabbits, breeding rabbits. Just to start immediately. Set the traps tonight.
Well, start doing things that make you less stressed out about it, that like make you at least feel like you have more autonomy and that these groups will have less
Control.
control over you because you don't need to get their meat at the grocery store. You can get it yourself. Like,
Yeah.
that's my whole thing is like, I'm tired of
That-
complaining. I'm tired of like being like, oh, these fuckers are doing. It's like, what's
You gotta
next?
take action. Yeah. You
I
can take
can't beat
action.
them.
Invest in gold. That's your retirement fund.
Me,
And
I
World
then-
will-
meat, motherfuckers.
I will never be able to beat them. If the four of us get together, we will not beat them. But I just want to adjust.
Good.
You got to deal with reality on reality's terms,
Teach
right?
your
Like,
kids to fish and hunt, which you're already doing.
you gotta
Woodworking,
deal with
you're already
reality,
doing
like-
it. Like, yeah, it's coming. Learn how to grow some tomatoes, grow some potatoes, grow some onions, learn how to make bread. Like things are coming down the pike. Open your eyes and
Yeah,
be
like-
ready for it when it comes.
my story is that my dad was like beating this stuff into my head when I was younger. We all, like all this stuff. And then
Right.
for, like 20 plus years, I was just like, nah, just want to enjoy the world. But like all that stuff that he bashed into me is like, really, yeah, that's useful.
Yeah.
How to go
good.
camping or how to start a fire and like how to start a fire
Bash it
without
into
burning
your
down your
kids.
neighborhood.
What berries not to eat? Yeah.
Yes.
Which
True, true.
which leaves to avoid.
Or you could just, like for that, it's like you could buy a book that costs $20 that literally has like all the answers to that stuff in it. Just a
True.
book.
Yeah.
Like costs almost nothing.
Yep.
A lot of people don't because it's like, well, I have the internet, like stupid. I got the internet. Like it's like, well, when the internet's gone, like
I was gonna say, but what if you don't?
all those
Exactly.
bookmarks you had on like how to make a fire.
No.
How to
don't.
trap a rat.
No.
Like you're gonna be like clicking your bookmarks like, man, I had this video saved, like how to catch a rabbit. And
In
I
denial.
had
My internet's
had
not
my
down.
miracle straw in my Amazon cart. Now it's gone. What's it called?
Miracle straw.
but it's not like it's not like going full prepper. It's like I try to
Mhm.
teach my son that, hopefully you never need to use these skills, but hopefully they give you some kind of comfort,
Mhm.
And here's your cyanide pill just in case.
but you also need to be really good at math and science and coding. And like, you need to understand society and how these things work. And you need to like go to school and
How to navigate using
learn
the
how to play the game
stars.
too. Yeah. It's like, if you're going to have YouTube, like you got to be able to pay attention to things. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
so it's not like go full. It's just just be ready for either, other more scenarios.
I have adult children and I don't know what to say to them. Like I honestly don't. I mean, they say that you should like tell them, like make a plan, like where everybody meets in case communication gets shut down or like I don't even know how to say that to my adult children. Like how do I say that? Like We're gonna
Well,
be
just
like, it
Google it.
just
There's
sounds so
guides.
it sounds hysterical, but like, what if that happens? Like, what if
Well,
everything shut down? Like,
For your daughter, I know the meeting spot. For your daughter, it's going to be Disneyland. So just put that aside already.
okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll meet there.
Yeah.
We should be fine. We'll go
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
tunnels. The tunnels are
I
exactly.
mean, part of it is
prepared.
like you just text to them one day and they either save it or they don't.
Yeah.
When the best day would probably be the day after like UFOs keep getting shot down. Like now that we know it's
Yeah.
all bullshit, there's no UFOs
I don't want to
whatsoever.
alarm them though. Like, have you told your daughters? Like, how do I tell my daughter? I'm
Oh,
sure
no,
she
no,
knows. Right.
No, they're too young. But my son is like becoming aware. Yeah.
His uncle said, tell them your mother is crazy, as if they don't know.
Pick the right
Alright.
time. I don't know. It's
You know what? At the end, you guys will be like, God damn it, Quana was right.
if you think your kids are not gonna like save that, it's like you better make it something easy, like Rob said, like Disneyland.
Yeah.
Parking lot C at Disneyland. Our favorites, where we always park.
I mean, instead of making her drive 8 hours, I might
Yeah,
stay at
yeah,
the
don't be
house.
like-
Let's just meet at the house. But
Right.
Don't give them actual
Yeah.
GPS coordinates to like the woods or like a tree.
yeah,
Like it's gotta be easy to remember.
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. I always think like, what if this is our last podcast? I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm tired of complaining or like, being like giving these things the power to like get me pissed off or whatever. Not that I don't,
Yeah,
but it's
that's
like,
you have to be grateful. Like, you have to wake up every day and be like, I'm grateful for this and this, because it could very well be like, if there's Russian ships on our borders,
yeah,
like, we should kiss
If
your
it's some-
wife tonight, or
I'm grateful that we have the
Yeah.
technology, like where you could like learn all these things very easily and like watch videos of like people for free, like showing you, here's how you do all these things. And I think about that. Remember was it Malaysia or it was Indonesia? Like
It was Malaysian.
Phuket,
The missing
where they
flight?
had the that horrible, like, this is like early 2000 mid 2000s, where they had that horrible tsunami
Oh,
yeah,
at the resort.
Thailand. No,
yeah,
not
that's Thailand.
Um,
I
Yeah.
think.
I think, yeah. But there's a story on that. I was watching this, like, this is really a random memory, but it made an impression on me. I was like watching a preacher on TV, like, you got to remember back in the day, you flip on like cable. It's like
Burma.
click, click, click. Like, you got to go scroll through channels.
Mhm.
There was this preacher talking about it, and he was like people are angry at God because he like made a tsunami and kill these people. And then he was telling this story, because this is a true story, that there was a like a Western family on that beach, and the daughter noticed that the water was like receding,
Hmm.
and the daughter like used technology, aka the History Channel, and had watched like History Channel documentaries about tsunamis and like how what happens is the water gets sucked out.
Mhm.
So she went to her family, was like, we should get out of here. And they're like, okay. And they're fine. Because of TV technology, like modern things, like,
And now that
Weird.
won't be able to happen because all that is on the History Channel now is fucking ancient aliens.
she was just resourceful. Yeah. Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do when the clouds start receding or whatever the fuck? I don't know. How
It's
are you
like-
gonna save the family then?
Science and technology gave us the knowledge to like kind of predict when, a massive wave's going to come in. It's
Right.
like when all the water gets sucked out, like that's the time to run. There's probably a bunch of people that were like, oh, look at that water getting sucked out. That's weird. I wonder if there's a hole in the ocean. Like
There's a
10
hole in
minutes,
the earth. That's what it is.
10 minutes later, they're being ground into the sand
Ugh.
by like a massive wave.
That's awful.
full circle moment though, that Ty Pennington guy, the move that bus guy,
Oh yeah.
he was
R.I.P.
like,
Ty.
he was the guy that or was it whoever Oprah's builder was, I think it was that guy, his boyfriend got washed away at sea during that type, like it came in and it washed him out, and he had this like harrowing story of like holding on to him, and he like lost his husband.
That sucks.
There was a movie about that called like The Impossible, I think, with Naomi Watts.
I watched it.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
It was gnarly.
I was so angry. I was really angry during that movie because it's like,
why were you angry at that movie?
I could not imagine ever taking my family somewhere where the hospitals and like if something happened, like you got like fucking medicine men, you know, in hospitals that are like falling apart with mosquito nets around the beds. Like, that's just me. Like, but the reason that a lot of Europeans go there is because it's super cheap.
Yeah.
Super cheap and like deluxe. Right.
Yeah.
That's the trade-off.
But if a tsunami hits and your kids get effed up, you know, they don't really have the infrastructure, resources, police, or like anything, hospital, healthcare, like to like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to be in big trouble. So it's like I'm going to stick to, place I can drive to, or
no Machu Picchu reserves for you. I hear you.
Like, but full circle. I don't know if we're good on time here, but like
we could start wrapping soon.
All the distractions, right? Like all the UFO distractions. What was in the news before the UFOs came, and the balloon and the China weather balloons attacked us? Nonstop Hunter Biden laptop.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Back to that guy, the human trafficker, Hunter. So it's like now I'm waiting, like all the negativity and like the hatred towards the government and the administration from the East Palestine train fire, the phony UFO attacks. Now it's like they're going to start rolling out Hunter Biden stories just to distract us from the distractions. They'll be like,
nice if they would bring it back to that.
Yeah, like something. It's quaint. It's quaint.
It could be the 120 Jeffrey Epstein emails that were released, or the fact that they've made the COVID-19 vaccine. They slipped it into the child protocol, so your children will have to get that as their scheduled vaccines. There's been a lot of things that have happened while we've been distracted by UFOs and train derailment.
I wonder what, now that they've already used up the UFO thing. I guess they could make a bigger UFO, I guess, but they've already used that up. We've already got all the natural disasters and stuff, but I feel
like at this point, like a UFO, like a mothership would have to like hover over the entirety of the United States, and like for people to even pretend
it's already there. It's just
half the people
like whatever.
Half the people will be like, I heard that's that Microsoft Bing AI chatbot that's doing this. And it's like, and I was like, they turned that off like 2 weeks ago. This is
or
real.
Did they?
I love the TikTok videos where they're like, "Are we going to work tomorrow?" Like, shut down the motherships, like, or is it? Yeah.
For younger people, this is like their snow days. You know what I mean?
Woo! Hey, UFO day.
Yeah, like this UFO stuff is bad, but I might go to sleep in tomorrow.
Except for those poor kids in pallet, like, I mean, I've already been worried.
No one's sleeping there, man.
For like 11 years, but I'm just saying, like, it's just disgusting.
Well, I can say, like, I think folks got a little bit, people get a little bit carried away. My focus is on, if people really want to solve a problem, which I don't think people really do, they just want more drama.
Yeah.
But if people really wanted to solve a problem, they would really focus on who owns Norfolk Southern and why do they not want to put new brakes on train cars. That's what they would focus on. They'd focus on this system, this institution that kind of like, they'd realize like you're shaking your fist at Joe Biden and FEMA for not, and it's like, you own fucking 20 shares of Vanguard, you're gonna those shares have grown so much because they own Norfolk Southern and cut costs that you're going to better buy a condo when you retire in Hawaii. Like, and you're shaking your fist at these people and you own it. You own it. I'm not even passing judgment. I'm just not shaking my fist because I know I own part of it.
You're complicit in this.
That's that. Yeah, we are. Everybody is. Like, it's what makes the world go round.
Well, just remember that drama equals profit to somebody. So
Is this how
the
we introduce our
more-
Patreon?
Dang,
That's
you
how we
know.
that's how
Yeah.
we
You want more drama, people? You get yeah. It's but I mean, it's not nothing for sure. Like all those chemicals, the gases, the streams, the creeks. It's not. I would say that
You
think
literally
that,
can't stand in your own home because you just start to get overwhelmed by
yeah.
You know when
I've said
Aaron
it, like,
Brockovich is busting
they're
on
paying
the
the
screen
price.
that something's going on, right?
what?
When Aaron Brockovich is busting down the doors to figure out what the fuck is going on, that something's going on,
Oh,
right?
yeah, dude. Totally.
Sure, it's not nothing. I mean, it's something significant. You know, it's like really screws these people. I think in the end, I hope, you know, that they get paid. I don't think they're gonna, their house probably wasn't worth $1 million, so they're not gonna get that.
Shouldn't
But
we hope that they can contain it? Like there should be some kind of containing of the disaster that's happening, like the
there
environmental
is,
part of it.
yeah. I think that people that eat Doritos on the regular, and consume Coca-Cola products, like you're Chernobyling yourself. Like the couple
Stop
droplets,
Chernobylling yourself.
yeah, the couple droplets that you get from this one is like, man, you just ate a bag of Doritos, man. Come on. Like you just put a bunch of chemical, like all the stuff on that train, just like put it in your body. It's delicious.
I don't know.
You're licking it off your
I don't
fingers.
know.
Like you're licking these chemicals off your fingers.
I don't know.
So like, is it going to be devastating to the average American as far as health wise? No. Is it another brick
Acid
in
rain?
the wall? Yeah, the acid rain already existed. Like now it's like 0.0001% worse, but it's already existed. Like we've been doing this a long time. I'm just saying, like, we got to, like, when people react and say stuff like we just Chernobyled the Midwest, that allows the people on the other side that just want to like be like, oh, you're a lunatic for saying that.
Mm.
And now you start at 100. Now we're going to start at 0 in this negotiation process.
Right.
And that's what it's become. It's a shame because it's become like a political thing. It's become to the right. I would argue that I'm not sure that they care about those people because they don't want to get into like, well, who really owns Norfolk Southern? Like, God damn it. I keep saying it. Like, who really owns it and benefits when they cut costs? Like all of America, all of middle class America, all of them, all of us, So it's like, I don't think you really want to solve the problem or you really care that much about those people in the next East Palestine because you don't really want to get to the root of the problem. You want to make it like, can you believe Joe Biden's administration hasn't declared blah, 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 and then Trump jumps in and he goes, and then the Joe Biden responds and it becomes like a political left-right thing. And then guaranteed problem never solved, guaranteed.
I'll tell you
What about
one
that there
way.
have been 2 other train catastrophes and like
There's
the past
1,700 a year.
week.
There's literally
Okay.
1,700 train
So they're just
derailments a year.
reporting about it. Okay. Well,
Yeah, they really are. I
okay.
told you, I'm a serial news person. I read. Like I go to news aggregator sites. I know that they're biased, but I just read all the articles, and it's like, yeah, it's really easily searchable. Like how many train derailments happen in the United States in an average year? It's like 1,700. I mean, it's not
Okay.
usually. It doesn't usually result in like a like a mushroom cloud. But it's like, well, when you tell yourself that like 1,700 times a year, a train car falls off a track. And everybody, you drive over these train tracks every day.
Yep.
I can hear it at my house. I can hear it go boo, boo when they're coming through.
So if it happens 1,700 times a year, it's like, that's really bad. But it's like, of course, like eventually, like they're going to be some,
Well, they're running 24 hours a day on every track across the whole entire United States, right?
That's another thing that'll blow your mind. Okay, let's say someone said, I want you to fix the railroads and you have an unlimited budget. You would still be like, oh my God, how do you secure the railroads? Like, how do you secure, like, where railroads go? Like they're in the middle of, like they go through the middle of nowhere. They go through the middle of neighborhoods. They go through the back of city, like in the middle of cities, on the backside of cities.
Around a mountain.
How do you secure that?
If you've ever taken the train, I took the train from Sacramento to New York, and like
Oh, that's cool.
many places are just like wild, you know, like that
Yeah.
you're right. It is
I would love to
around
do
and
that.
about and all the things.
They sell
That's
these like
fun.
train excursions that are like literally like 10, 15 grand. I obviously aim towards old people, but like where you go on a train in like California, you go up like to like Alaska and you're on this train for weeks, you know, like
You could do
luxury.
Amtrak for a couple hundred.
Well, this is more like a luxury, like instead of going on a cruise, you take a train
Yeah,
and you see the mountains and you see like the backside, like you see like the
I've
middle
seen.
of nowhere.
Yeah,
But also you
TikTok.
like, my point is like, it's just unsecurable, like unsecurable.
And that's how we're moving in all of our
Mhm.
everything.
We'll never get to that conversation. There'll never be any adjustments to like, hey, these things need to be transported on trucks with like 6-inch rubber, you know, like gaskets inside the tanks.
Yeah.
We'll never get there.
No.
And also people don't really want to like, you don't want to pay like $8 for a hairbrush that's made out of plastic because you like that, you know, because it's like if we have to like hand carry these chemicals in like rubber baskets, like 6 ounces at a time, that's how much a brush is going to cost.
I
Be
wish
real
you knew how much
expensive.
brushes actually cost. Because they cost way more than that.
You know what I mean? Like you're never going to get like a 99-cent
I'm
comb,
teasing.
you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
You're
I
going
know what
to, that 99-cent, like, what was the brand? Goody?
Yeah.
It's going to cost you like, you got to take a loan out.
See, this is when you take the opportunity to hit up your local thrift store and get yourself a secondhand brush, and you're good.
Yep. Or you just steal your neighbor's brush.
Or that. Covet thy neighbor's brush, whatever you
Yeah, no, it's like the 11th commandment.
the forgotten commandment.
But it is bad. It's really bad. But it's like, man, like the stuff we put in our bodies, like just willingly, like every day.
Not even that willingly part is the most terrifying. The terrifying part is the unwilling part that people aren't thinking about. Like, oh, you buy an apple and maybe you don't wash it, but like the tons of pesticides on it, or actually the water that you're washing it in has the water filtration centers aren't really up to code, or the leaks in the whatever, like your water is not as good as it should be. So you should have a filter. It's like you cannot protect yourself. Oh, and then the chemtrails flying over you. Like there's just like the stuff that you can do, you should at least be doing, because the stuff that you have no control over, you're not going to ever have any control over that. So like that's back to your original point. So like if you can avoid Doritos, or you should be trying to figure out ways that you can make your body stronger, because you're already fighting so many things.
Yeah. I just thought, yeah, like it was really like one dude, like, and it's like it's also the East Palestine. This disaster is also like kind of a modern marvel of, you know, of journalism, where one dude that like, I think he used to work for the railroad or something. He's probably in a shitload of trouble because he gave like the interview before they told him stop talking, don't do interviews. And he's the guy that said, we basically nuked a town with like the railroad, right? He's the only guy that said that. You know, he looks like, you know, like Joe, like, you know, like construction worker or whatever, but like everybody ran with that. Everybody ran with that quote. He's like really the only person that said it, you know? And there was their viral TikTok video, the Asian dude, right? That explained it. Had you seen that video?
Which
I
one?
don't think so.
It was viral. It was a TikTok video of a guy that very early on did like a 2-minute video, and he explained like what the NTSB did and what the railroad did after the crash. And he explained like why they didn't want to just let the chemicals burn, that they wanted to like, why they didn't want the chemicals to just leak all out into the ground.
Right.
They wanted to set it on fire. And he said, and everybody was sharing, like major news outlets were including this guy's TikTok video in their reports. So everybody was using this guy, and he wasn't really wrong. But he said that he said something that everybody ran with is when you burn vinyl chloride, you create phosgene. And he said something about phosgene was outlawed because it was a chemical gas. It was like chemical warfare gas in World War One. And everybody's just like, oh my God, they burned this vinyl chloride and they made phosgene. But I read an article later on, like when people were starting to calm down, that basically said, yeah, it does create phosgene, but not one for one. Like you don't have a tanker of vinyl chloride burn and it creates a tanker full of phosgene. Like the phosgene is like a tiny, like 0.4% byproduct of it. So
not to burn massive amounts.
It's really bad. But that video kind of gave people the impression that it's like that a tank of this burned equals a tank of that.
Who did that person work for is my question.
He's just an innocent. He's just an innocent. No, he's just an innocent dude trying to like help people in the moment. I don't think he expected for his 2-minute TikTok video to become the Bible, to become canon, of what happened in this situation. But it kind of did for a little bit. It did.
Yeah, I don't know. Between phosgene, I prefer mom jeans.
So is Obama,
tonight, Robbie.
Yeah, there you go.
Your hero. Oh man. Yeah. I imagine Robbie going to like a parent teacher conference and he's sitting there and like every wall is like a picture of Obama. And as he's sitting there, he's starting to sweat. And these pictures are getting bigger.
Yeah.
You just need to wear one of those black t-shirts that have that fist,
Oh yeah.
Like the big one.
Oh yeah.
I want to bring my hair pick.
Represent it.
Yeah, you got to go further. Yeah, and then your kid will get special treatment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go full. You put a pick in there, man. You're gonna
militant.
Chris, you like CB4. You like CB4.
That Robbie, that Rob he's a militant black man. Don't let the looks fool you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That baby face.
CB4
Don't let that baby face fool you.
CB4 is up there with like Caddyshack, Fletch, with like very influential on my comedic senses.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
That was incredible. That and Pootie Tang. Pootie Tang, of course.
Oh, Saturday.
Me and my buddies went on a fishing trip, and I swear to God, the whole weekend that we just spoke Pootie Tang. And it was amazing. We never even spoke English. We were just like, give me da, ba da ba da. It's like, and they just hand me bait. It's amazing.
That's so dope.
We had just all seen it. We had all seen the movie. It was like, oh, this is the greatest thing. Writer for that, Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice.
Yeah,
he's Mexican.
The first comedian Bill and I ever went and saw. He's funny.
Oh, really?
Before he was jerking off in plant.
Famous Mexican American Louis C.K.
Hey, yeah, one of my favorite Mexicans out there. He's one of the good ones.
Can you believe they tried to cancel a Mexican?
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's like in their culture, it's you don't have to ask in their culture,
They're bringing the rapists, they're bringing their comedians. Yeah.
They're bringing them all.
That was a fun episode we did way back when we were talking about our favorite comedians. Louis C.K. and I played that, and then I talked about his whole canceling and that whole weirdness of like, he was like the women that would describe that he was very polite.
Yeah, like can I kind of
he said please, like if you don't mind,
and it's so Sarah Silverman let him do it. She was like, yeah, it's fine, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember the two girls, like their story was like they were kind of accidental Me Too, like whatever you're gonna call it, like it came up like years later. Like they did complain at the time and they were told to shut up, but it came up like years later that this happened.
Yeah.
But the way to describe it, they were like, no, I don't think so. We're gonna leave now.
Yeah.
But like, so I don't know if he ever did it to them, but they were the ones that started. They did what you would teach your daughter to do, is be like, no,
yeah,
I'm leaving.
I would get stage fright, I think.
Well,
Yeah.
but I said
Same.
that because then we got into it because like whoever one of our listeners that's probably like a psychology major or something was telling us about like what would like what happened to him early on that would make him like really like he needs an audience.
Yeah, he probably saw his parents have sex one time.
He's like, if he doesn't have an audience, he gets like, I don't know
Yeah.
what you call it, unstage fright or something. Like,
Yeah, that's what it's called.
need somebody clapping.
Yeah.
Loses arousal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
good times, everybody.
Yeah.
Robbie,
So hopefully we get back to the normal distractions next week.
Yes.
Mhm.
Old fashioned stuff like the president's son's a human trafficker. You know, stuff like that
more
Yep.
choppy water talk
from our youth. Yeah, choppy waters. Yeah.
That's right.
Anyway, what I guess I'm done.
Want to give a quick shout out to all our listeners, our supporters, our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. The people that hung out with us during the happy hour. It was a good
That was
time.
fun.
I hope so. I appreciate it. I hope everybody
Yeah.
had fun.
Yeah. If you don't follow us on YouTube yet, feel free to subscribe. You know.
And we're gonna try and take calls on the next episode, so stick around. I have a phone number set up, and we'll see we'll see if anybody calls.
I don't know why we
Keep your eyes peeled, everybody.
If you presumably anybody that calls is calling from a cell phone,
right?
Not a landline.
Yeah, unless we're talking to a very old person.
So if you can get a free Zoom app and like we can just send you the link and you can call in, but you don't do video and it's essentially you calling in. Like I don't know if there needs to be a number.
Could they do a video though? Could you pull them into the video or no?
If they wanted to,
not if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do
Gary's
it to
gonna
where
need a Joe Gary's gonna need a rotary phone app.
If they have their camera turned off, then they just don't show up other than their voice. So it's the same thing as them making a phone call.
Yeah, you're right.
But I just like the spontaneity of the phone calls, just kind of.
I know it feels like, like it feels better if it's ringing, like the phone actually ring.
It's like, oh shit, everybody, what's up?
Did it work when I called you back, Manny? Did you hear it ringing?
No, it rang, but it didn't come through on the computer like I'd hoped it did. So,
okay.
Yeah,
we'll see. We can work on it this week.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna get it on, and then we can chat a little bit longer. But we'll at least wrap up our podcast audio episode here.
Yeah.
By saying thank you and get it on.
Get it on.
Gotta get it on. Gotta get it on.
Get it on, everybody.
There we go.
Okay.
So yeah, like that. Get it.
Got the lady vacuuming here. I'm in the
stop the audio.
I can't hear it.
Oh.
I cannot hear her vacuuming.
I'm telling you guys, like I've like Manny, and then Jaden, like you guys are audiophiles. Like someone at Zoom has just figured all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Like
literally can't hear.
Never mind.
Like they've just figured out how to like make sure your face is on the screen. They figured out how to put you in a TV, and they figured out how to like eliminate all sound that isn't what they detect is what the sound that you want. Yeah.
Hola, Consuelo.
Yeah.
I was on I was on a Teams call for work this week.
And
someone was saying like, can you hear that? And we were like, no. And they were like, they couldn't believe that we couldn't hear like a beeping or whatever in the back, like someone outside. Like,
Thank God.
Because they were like, you can't hear that. Like, he's like, I can barely hear you because there's a guy like mowing the lawn, like right outside my window. And we're sitting there like, we hear you perfectly clear. We can't hear anything else.
It's like you don't need even a green screen anymore. You can just have a background without a green screen. How crazy is that? Yeah. Guys, I gotta go.
Yeah, man. All right, cheers. Rob. Be careful.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
You, man.
Hold it down. Never forget.
Ciao, Bella.
All right, babes. All right, bye. See ya.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Oh, man.
Guys. You guys. Do you feel like I'm down too many rabbit holes? Like I'm out of touch? Do you really feel like I need to like be put in a home or something? I feel like I have too many thoughts. I've seen and heard too many things.
You're
No, I
already in a
think
home.
I can
You're
relate
fine.
to it. I can relate to it because it's like each one of these threads that's like is really makes a lot of sense. You know,
But I feel like I've been pulling at threads since before people were pulling at threads. So like the stuff that I'm seeing, I'm like, wait, that was like 2 years ago. Like they were talking about this thing that's now like actually, it's just like, I feel like that red line guy that has like all of the pictures and it's all in my mind at once.
You need to put
So-
that, take that out, like put it on an actual cork board so you could kind of free your mind from all that stuff.
I'm too busy. I like to drink and have sex. I don't have time for that. I don't have time.
I just like all these things are just they're all just designed to like keep us distracted with nothingness so that the system can keep operating, you know.
You don't think that there's going to be a food shortage? You're not seeing that at all on the horizon?
I do, but I got to tell you guys, I live in the
Thank you,
capital.
Manny.
I live in the capital. I live in the capital. Like I live in an area where no matter what is going on in the world economy, this area is booming.
That's what Bill always says every time I go out. He's like, how is this a down economy? Like people, every restaurant we go sit down in, you go eat dinner or lunch. Lunch is $50. If you're going to go have lunch,
is to the
two of us.
The problems we have in our area is like things are growing so fast. You go to a restaurant and they can only half staff it. So there's a bunch of people waiting and it's like an hour wait because they have tons of open tables. The kitchen is only half operating, but they don't have enough people to hire. They can't hire enough people because at the same time, like the cost of living around here is starting to go up where like people that would work at that restaurant can't afford to live like anywhere close to that restaurant.
Right.
Speaking of like overworked and understaffed, I stopped by a burger joint over the weekend on Sunday after I was coming back home. It was closed, but I think the staff or whoever was working the night before or whatever, or early that day, must have been severely out of it because the rear entrance was open, but they were closed. I was just like, all the lights were off. I was like, nah, this is how I end up getting framed for a murder. So I'm just going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bad sign when they leave the fucking business or establishment open with no one there, you know? It's just like,
I think you just have less quality. Like Bill talks about it all the time. Like they can't even get people to come in. Like they have a girl that hasn't worked 6 weekends. Like she just like, no, I'll just work whenever I want. But they can't really fire her because they need people. Like she will come in and work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and they need her. You know?
wow.
So like,
I'm
okay.
saying that we got like
She's
we just have
literally
a
just running shit.
huge America has a huge QC problem. Like we got like quality control problems in every aspect of our culture, economy. Yeah, it's crazy. I noticed it just at work, like things have changed, like to where simple things that I would request from distributors, manufacturers, just like easy answers I'd get back in 2 hours. Like now it takes a week and the answer is wrong. And it's like poorly written emails and like, yeah, it's just it's happening. And it's not like one vendor. It's like a lot of vendors are doing the same thing because you can tell like they're maybe they see an economic downturn coming. So they fire the people that are making a lot of money that have a lot of experience and knowledge, and they promote the people that weren't making a lot of money that don't really have the experience. They're not bad. It's just, they just don't have the experience.
Makes sense. Yeah.
That's why people are looking for side things to do. Like Nike is making affiliate programs for people. Like they're making network marketing a real thing because people they're seeing that like changes in industries are coming. Like car business, it's been crazy for years. Like it's been weird, declining, weird prices, everything's been weird for
Do you ever ask Bill like 20 years ago, did you imagine that there'd be some freaking weird thing called Carvana and they would just bring you your car to
but even they're having trouble. Even they're in the water.
Oh yeah, they're bad. Yeah, they overextended. But Carvana invented something.
Yeah.
So now they've already invented it. They spent all the money inventing it. Some other company would come along and just use that technology and what's already there to like actually make it a business.
Yeah.
The car business is so weird because like Bill is what you would consider a dinosaur in the car business. So he's like upper management. So he'll always be able to go to any store and be able to do something. But the fact
It's
that
that
they are
experience he's
keeping that
got.
structure, no, that they're keeping the same structure. Like they're still printing copies. Like they just went to e-sign. Like they
Oh yeah.
2 months ago, they were fucking printing hard DMV copies. Like this is such an antiquated business. Like, and it's so old school. Like they're still, you know, like grabbing people by the pussies. You know what I mean? Like it is the oldest, it is the most savage and non-touched business. It's very weird that they're not affected by it. Like they have kept their trades and secrets, like buy from the banks and all the spy-fi stuff. Like they keep it so under wraps.
Well,
People
yeah,
like Bill.
there's a weird, like, I have a hard time understanding how car dealerships make money.
Well,
what
if
I
you ever
mean?
want Bill
Like,
to come on, he is.
but a lot of
Bill
it is like the whole
car
financing
dinosaur.
thing. It's like a lot of it is the whole financing game, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not like
It's a real thing.
if you have a hardware store, you buy a hammer for $2 from the manufacturer and you sell it for $4, and you made $2, and then you pay
Right.
your rent. But it's like in the car, what it's like, no, you don't really buy the car. They just kind of put it there. Your job is to sell it. So you didn't really buy it. You don't sell it, but you sell it, and then you just get paid on the back. Like, it's, I know it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
they own the
system.
cars that they're selling, but yeah.
But like, I don't know,
I mean,
like,
mostly you can floor a car from another bank. Absolutely. There's
but
a
I'm
lot of
saying, like,
banking involved in cars.
like, so if a car dealership has to buy the new 2024 fleet, it's going to cost them like, I don't know what, just let's say $1 million to buy all those new cars. Right. But I'm guessing there's some programs to where they're never going to be allowed to they may get screwed, but they're never going to get stuck with those cars. Like there's some like buyback guarantee or something to where it's almost like GameStop, right? Like when EA Sports sells Madden games to GameStop, they don't really sell GameStop 100 games for $50 and then GameStop sells it for 70. Like, no, they kind of give GameStop those. GameStop has to sell them. GameStop makes a little bit. They make less, because they didn't have to put out the money.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just send all the unsold copies back. So I don't know. I know they're different things, but I figure there's some
I don't
kind
know
of
as
like,
much about the new car business as I do about the used car business, but in the used car business, you can get like a flooring line to buy cars from another bank. Obviously, you would floor.
Used cars I can understand better still, because I think there's still financing, but there's a little bit more element of like, I bought this used car for $2,000. I put $500 into it to clean it. I need to sell it for $5
or 10.
Well, but I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell it at my cost because I'm making a shitload of money on the back end from the financing because that's more like a hardware
because the banks
store.
will allow like a certain amount per your credit score, or like maybe you bought the car for whatever, so you could like back it up a little bit, put a little bit in the warranty, like you can move the money around because it's all just a shell game. Yes.
All right, y'all. I got work in the morning, so I'm gonna bounce.
All right, man.
All
Stay
right.
safe out there.
Likewise, y'all.
Cheers.
All right. Good night.
Oh, I guess we're done.
Yeah, we're still live anyways. So.
We're still live on YouTube. Is anybody paying attention?
One watching. Maybe it's me.
That's probably me.
It's us.
See, who did everybody say? Promotion code about cocaine? Yeah, Cocaine Bear. So Mandy Diebler, our friend, our former guest, and Heartbreaker.
So beautiful.
Once kissed a dude and then broke up with him an hour later. I think that's right. I might be messing that up. I think that's right. Yeah.
Really? Because I feel like she's married to her high school sweetheart.
She was talking about like a high school, like whatever. I don't know. Like before that.
Okay.
Hopefully I didn't just destroy a relationship.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think they're very in love.
Yeah, like, dude, Cocaine Bear, they were like NFL game, like we had that on, we had ESPN all day and just game day, whatever. And they were running commercials heavy for Cocaine Bear. So it's like, that's an attack. My son's 11. Like, I don't really like, And that's like the whole nip slip and the Super Bowl. Like they don't care about you. They don't like. They're just like whoever's going to pay is paying. And if I have to make you, if at the age of 11 I have to make you sit down with your son and explain Cocaine Bear the movie to him and why that's a thing, like, I forget, but I did.
Did you say?
I probably did it pretty well, to be honest. He knows what drugs are. They teach him all about drugs in school. Like
of course,
how to narc out everybody.
I'm sure.
And it's not like they don't tell them like don't snort cocaine and don't smoke marijuana, reefers, cigarettes. They're like showing them pictures of everything, like all the pills, all the vape pens, and all this. They show them pictures of these things.
I'm so glad I had my
so that they can be like, "Yeah, he's got one."
Why is your friend Jake got a Quaalude? Yeah.
Sometimes there's a guy and a lady on my dad's computer screen holding one of those. Anyway, good night. Enjoy your weekend.
Good night. You too. Have
Cheers,
fun.
everybody.
I didn't hear about the soccer, so I want to hear about that next week.
Okay, they did good. It was cold as all hell out there for 30 minutes.
Soccer sucks. It's so cold half of the year.
They did great.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers, everybody.
Good night.